Hey, my name is Marco. I'm a former pro opera singer turned voice actor, and today we're going to be listening to Emotions from Xenogears. I gotta say, I don't know anything about Xenogears. I know that it was like a pivotally important RPG that came out in the PlayStation era, PlayStation 1. Personally, what I feel to be one of the golden ages of video games, the PS1 era for me is definitely a period of growth for myself as an individual, childhood. I really hold the PS1 era deeply, deeply, deeply in my soul. So let's just dive right in. I don't know anything about this, so here we go. So right off the bat, it's kind of interesting. This sounds like a sitcom from the 90s. Like that. It's like, it reminds me of, I don't know, like the intro to like some sitcom that you would watch on like ABC or CBS or something in the States. That's not to make it derivative. That's just to say that this is an interesting sort of like sound that we heard in the 90s when it came to TV and movies. In this opening section is present in the game as well. I really love the call and response in this, by the way. You have these multiple different MIDI instruments and da 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 da. You have a call and response between da 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 and then ba da da da, basically, and you've got the two in the background there. You have the one trumpet, and then you've got the second trumpet, and so you've got this back and forth. We call that a call and response. Makes sense. But, this piece really to me is about love, is about beauty. It's about being present with the one you love. It's about being connected and obviously the song is called Emotions, so it's about feelings, and that's what I'm hearing anyway. Kind of amazing too that we have this introduction section. It follows the standard protocol of any popular song where you have an introduction, you have a verse, and then you have a chorus. You have a verse and you have a chorus. In this case, there's also this sort of strophic aspect to it where even though there are no lyrics, you have an ABA section. You just heard that we're going back to the original A section, and I have to also comment on the fact that, this MIDI music sound, it's incredible how when we were younger and we listened to this music, it didn't have to sound like a fully orchestrated piece that we have in other games currently, like with this full orchestration. This was enough. And this still is enough. You can still tell a story with this music. And the whole point of music is to enhance a story. And especially in video game music where it's typically programmatic, it's there for the intent of moving a story forward and helping story beats. And it's incredible that even now, when you listen to this, I can tell that it's two characters that finally, after all this buildup and wonderment and wondering if maybe they should be together or maybe if they both like each other or something, there's this moment where everything makes sense and they come together as one and they become a couple or they fall in love, and it's very touching. It's pretty cool too that in this composition, in this style of composition, musically you've got ma da 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 da, and then you have another instrument that then takes over. We're handing off the different melody options. We're handing off the melody to multiple different instruments, and that is incredibly interesting for a listener, because if it was just that saxophone the entire time, then when we shift to this, it would be very boring. But instead we shift off to a guitar, we shift off to whatever, the strings, and then you have another trumpet come in, or you have the saxophone, and all of these things come together and allow for an interesting experience. I really go back and I think about how this music in the 90s, when, I was a kid then, much like Melodies of Life or Eyes on Me and some of the Final Fantasy songs that had a profound impact on me and helped me understand emotions, this Xenogears Emotions may have offered that to somebody else. Now, I had never played Xenogears, but the thought is the same. Listening to this music is it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful opportunity. This music, I think, really helped a lot of us growing up at that time to appreciate and understand new feelings and emotions. And I think more than anything, growing up with video games allowed me to have a safe haven and to feel and allowed me to be vulnerable. And I wonder if that wasn't the same for you, having this music play, and perhaps even now with our modern works, like maybe video games is a place where you feel safe. And I think, yes, the piece is called Emotions, but in a way it allows us to feel emotions, which is important. And music composition in video games can be a vessel to allow all of us to feel more deeply and to understand and to maybe not run away from uncomfortable or fearful feelings or even positive feelings that we may not know how to handle. And I think video games give us a beautiful way to, shine a lens on all sorts of different emotions. And compositions like this really, I think, help us to get where we want to go emotionally and personally, I think. And I'm so grateful that I grew up in that era of video game music. And again, you don't need this to be fully orchestrated. This sound is beautiful and perfect on its own. And everything holds a special place. And everything that allows us to feel more deeply is worth paying attention to and worth listening to, regardless of whether it's on a MIDI file or in a fully orchestrated symphonic work. As always, thank you so much. This was a Patreon request. Guaranteed song requests are limited because that way I can produce the best work. I also have a Patreon tier where you can suggest songs you'd like me to listen to, and that is a recurrent thing that allows the channel to kind of keep on momentum, and it allows me to also pick and choose things that I want to listen to, but I really want this to sort of be driven by you, the community that listens to these pieces, and I can't really be here without you. So thank you so much for wanting to support the channel, wanting to support me, and I really appreciate that. If you want to join the Discord, feel free. We have a nice hangout place there, and as always, thank you so much, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.